Hello students, welcome to today's session. Today we are going to discuss about oscillators which uses positive feedback. In previous session we have discussed about negative feedback. Today we will also see examples on negative feedback. So let us begin with our today's session. Let us recap about negative feedback. We take input and we give it to amplifier circuit which uses a simple transistor. Output of transistor is our output. The function of amplifier is to increase the weak signal which is coming from input and to give us back a strengthened output. In feedback system we uses a closed loop where small part of output, a fraction of output is given back to input as feedback. In negative feedback, this fraction of feedback is subtracted from the input signal. So what will be the effect? Effect will be that the overall gain of the system will be decreased. Now, what is the gain? Gain is the profit of the system, we can say. But we should not get confused with gain A with the actual input signal V in. Input signal in terms of voltage will get enhanced due to the transistor. That is our output. But gain of the system will reduce in negative feedback system. When someone say bad about us or if someone gives us negative feedback, we feel that we are out of energy or energy reduces. Something same happens with the negative feedback where gain of the system reduces. In positive feedback, we give back the fraction of output to the input which gets added with the input signal, which increases the overall gain of the system. One more difference here, in these two diagrams you can observe that for a negative system there is a input signal given. For a positive feedback system you can see there is no input signal. So can we say that this system is working without any input? Let us check it out. The differences between positive and negative feedback phase wise. Let us discuss about the differences between these two systems. We have two parts here. Left side we have positive feedback system, right side we have negative feedback system. Both of them are given with input signal. In this case the input signal is sinusoidal. It is given to the block of A, which is nothing but the amplifier section. It uses transistor for example for the amplification system. When it is applied to transistor, what that transistor do? That transistor will provide 180 degree phase shift to the input. What is this 180 degrees phase shift? You concentrate on the pattern of this input signal. When we get the output of transistor, the polarities will change. Here first signal is positive. Here first signal is negative, which is nothing but the 180 degrees phase shift which is provided by the amplifier circuit, which is nothing but transistor. Then we can see the output. Output is given back using the feedback. But in positive feedback, the feedback system provides another 180 degrees phase shift. For that we use a particular circuit that we will see in the subsequent slides. So what will happen? We have already one phase shifted input signal at the output of amplifier. If we give back another 180 degrees phase shift, so total phase shift will be 360 degrees, which will be again in phase with the input signal. That means input signal and the feedback signal for positive feedback will be same. But what happens for the negative feedback? We don't provide any phase shift for the feedback system. So the input signal and the feedback signal are out of phase. That will give the subtraction of the signal, and that's why we get reduced gain of the system. So what we have to remember here, in positive feedback, that is nothing but oscillator, we provide 180 degree phase shift due to amplifier and another 180 degrees phase shift due to feedback system, and that total is 360 degrees. 360 degrees is nothing but 0 degrees. We say we start from 0 degrees, we complete a rotation of 360 degrees and we come back to the same point. That means 360 degrees is nothing but 0 degrees. Let us check out another differences equation wise. We have a common block diagram where we are giving input signal is say Vs. Vs is given to amplifier and we are getting output signal as V0. This is our simple structure. We are providing input, we are getting the output. In between, if we are giving feedback may have positive or negative system. If we consider that we are using a positive feedback, so what we are saying? For positive feedback, we'll add the feedback signal. Signals here are described in terms of voltage. Vs is the supply voltage, Vi is the input voltage of amplifier, V0 is the output voltage of amplifier. So let us cancel this equation here. Yes, I think I should change the color of highlighter. I will use this yellow. Let us check it out. So we have a positive feedback system where we are summing the input signal with the feedback system, and this particular total is going to amplifier again. So it is a continuous process. We are applying a supply voltage, we are getting the output, small part of output is giving to feedback, and that feedback signal is coming back to the input. So at the input, it is addition of the supply voltage which is coming from this way and Vf which is coming from this way. So Vi is equal to Vs plus Vf. But what is this feedback voltage? Feedback voltage is nothing but part of output voltage because we are giving a voltage which is coming from output to feedback circuit, where we are taking a small fraction, we call it as beta. So Vf will be equal to beta into V0. So we can write in place of Vf, we can write it as beta V0. This is in case of positive. What will happen in negative? In negative, just we have to subtract the voltage which is coming from feedback. So it will be Vs minus Vf. Then what is this Vf? We can write it in an alternate form if we want to calculate the beta, that is the fraction of feedback. Then beta will be equal to Vf by V0. We will shift this V0 to LHS. Now amplifier has certain gain, we have to consider it. Either it is increasing or decreasing, that is secondary, but that gain we have to add in our equation. So the equation which we are getting here, that is Vs minus beta V0 for negative feedback, for example, we have to multiply it with gain. So what will be the final expression for negative feedback? V0 will be equal to A, that is gain, into Vs minus beta V0. Now if we want to find out the beta or gain, we have to replace the terms accordingly. If we shift Vs to LHS, we will get V0 by Vs equal to A by 1 plus A beta. This expression is very important. This expression is also called as the gain of feedback, and gain is nothing but how much output we are getting to the applied input. Gain is the profit. So it is the ratio of output by input signal. V0 is the ultimate output, Vs is the ultimate input we are providing. So ratio of output by input is gain. One more thing we have to remember, that gain of feedback system, gain with feedback system is different than the gain without feedback system. Without feedback system, we get the initial gain of the amplifier. When we apply feedback system, our gain changes. It may increase or decrease according to the type of feedback. If we talk about positive feedback, we will use the expression of positive feedback where we will multiply it with gain A. And when we change the position of the expression, the ratio of V0 by Vs will be A by 1 minus A beta. That will be the feedback gain. So in both the expressions, you have to remember that for negative feedback it is A by 1 plus A beta. For positive feedback it is A by 1 minus A beta. So let us check out the examples on negative feedback, where mainly we have to use this expression, that is A by 1 plus A beta. So we'll be able to understand the exact concept of the gains. So this example, it reads as the voltage gain of an amplifier without feedback is 3000. When we are not applying any feedback, we are getting gain of 3000. So what we have to do, we have to calculate the voltage gain of the amplifier if we are providing negative feedback, and given that the feedback fraction is 0.01. In few textbooks, feedback fraction is given by small m. In few textbooks, it is given by beta. We will use it as beta. So here beta is 0.01. What is our formula for feedback gain? It is given by overall gain A divided by 1 plus A beta. So let us change the color of this particular thing. Say we'll use blue. Now we have to keep the given data, that is AF is equal to A. The overall gain is 3000, that is A divided by 1 plus A beta. A is 3000 and beta is 0.01. So what will be the feedback gain here? It is 97 if we calculate this expression. So what you have to realize here, that gain of this amplifier with feedback is reduced from 3000 to 97. That is the impact of negative feedback. The gain is reduced. But then why to use negative feedback? That is the question. But it provides the gain stability, noise reduction and other benefits that we will see in the next examples. Let us discuss second example. In this we can see the question is, with a negative feedback an amplifier gives an output of, let us correct it, an output of 10 volt and input is 0.5 volt. The given data is output is 10 volt and input is 0.5 volt. You can see the beauty of this amplifier. We are having very small input of 0.5 volt and the output voltage is 10 volt. That is nothing but amplification. When feedback is removed, it requires 0.25 input for the same output. So what we have to calculate, the gain without feedback and feedback fraction m that we are using. We are calling it as beta here. I am using m here so that you should not get confused if you get m in any other textbook you refer. So we have to calculate beta and gain without feedback. So we have the gain with feedback. How we will calculate gain with feedback? We have output voltage, we have input voltage and we are using negative feedback. So gain without feedback A. Gain is nothing but the ratio of output to input. So we have 10 by 0.25. It comes to 40. That is, the gain without feedback is 40 for this particular system. Then gain with feedback. With gain with feedback, what is happening? The input is changing. The required input is, say, 0.5 for feedback, 0.25 for without feedback. So without feedback we got 40. For feedback we will change this denominator to 0.5. So here we will get 10 by 0.5 to 20. That means we are changing the input and output gain is changing. Again, feedback gain is lesser than the gain without feedback. Now let us check out the formula. AF is equal to A by 1 plus A beta. Let us keep the feedback AF values here. So fraction we have to calculate. AF we have calculated to 20. A is 40, the overall A, divided by 1 plus A is 40, and beta we are calculating, we are calling it as m. So from here m will be equal to 0.025. That is the fraction of output we are giving back to the input. So this much value only we are giving as feedback from the output. Let us check out the third example. Here we have to calculate the gain of a negative feedback amplifier with an internal gain where A is 100 and feedback factor that is beta is given as 0.09. This is m or beta. What will be the gain if A doubles? Right, so first we will calculate gain with 100 and the doubled value of gain will be 200. So let us calculate with the given data. A is 100, beta is equal to 0.09 and AF is A beta. Let us check out. AF is equal to A by 1 plus A beta, that is the formula. Then we have to take the product of fraction. For 100, AF is equal to 100 divided by 1 plus 100 into this fraction. So this value will be equal to 10. So 10 is the feedback gain when the overall gain is 100. Now when we double this gain, that is 200. For 200, what will happen? We'll change the value of 100 to 200. So we'll get, in place of 100, we have to just write 200. Once we calculate it, we get it as 10.5. So what is the observation here? With 100 gain, the overall gain, the feedback gain is 10. If we double the gain 200, then also we are getting negligible variation in the feedback gain, that is 10.5 only. So feedback gain is negligible even though internal gain is doubled. This is an advantage and proof that negative feedback provides the gain stability. Gain is not changing with change in the overall gain, that is the internal gain. But at the same time, gain is reduced from 100 to 10. This of course may be a disadvantage because due to feedback, the overall gain is reduced. Now let us discuss about the oscillations and oscillator. Today we are going to discuss about positive feedback. Positive feedback application is in oscillators. So let us have a clear idea about oscillations. Oscillation is the repetitive variation typically in time. So any signal which is changing with respect to time can be considered as oscillation. We may have mechanical oscillation. We may also have various electrical signal as oscillation. And what is an oscillator? Oscillator is a circuit which produces a continuous, repeated, alternating waveform. We require various waveform in time. Let us have example of these various signals where we can see that all the signals which are changing are nothing but the oscillation. These are oscillations. Oscillation may have various nature. Here we can see that oscillations are increasing with respect to time. These oscillations are mainly related with frequencies. Everywhere we have various frequencies. All the communications, all the systems we use around us uses various frequencies. The frequency is nothing but the oscillations. We may have low frequency where the repetitions have a wide wavelength. In medium frequency, the repetitions enhances. In high frequency, there are many repetitions in small time. These all frequencies have various importance in our day-to-day life. Let us discuss about them. It starts with extremely low signal to visible light. Visible light is also an electromagnetic field. We may have audio frequencies and we may have radio frequencies. Audio frequencies are low frequencies. Its range is from say 300 to 3000 hertz, that is 3 kilohertz. Those signals are used normally for the communication. After that, we may have very low frequencies, high frequencies, very high frequencies. They are used in various communication. We use mobile phones, satellite communication, the TV signals, the video signals. All of them have various frequencies. Now, how oscillators work? Oscillators have an input which is DC in nature and they give out AC output. DC is direct current, we can say. AC is alternating signal. Alternating signal is nothing but changing signal with respect to time. DC signal is probably a straight line which is not changing with respect to time. But here we can see the same signal is changing with respect to time. It is continuously changing. Oscillator takes DC as input and gives out AC as the output. Here some possible output waveform we can say. See, we may have sinusoidal signal, we may have triangular signal, or we may have square shaped signal. These are various possible oscillator output signals. Now let us discuss why to study oscillators. Let us continue this particular slide from the continuation video.